All right, everyone. So we got a pretty interesting story here for you today. So we've talked a little bit about Chad Gable, his contract, and what was going on. And so we're reading an article from TJRWrestling.net where he went on Cheap Heat with Peter Rosenberg and made a pretty bombshell claim about his contract and if it expired. So this is what he had to say. It's great for everybody to have options. Everybody will quickly jump to the conclusion that if I were to not resign, I'd be going somewhere else. The reality is, the master's degree thing is real. I do have the degrees and I have other interests, motion graphics, filmmaking, all these things. Production is very interesting to me and a passion of mine. I thought a cool aspect that some people tend to do is that when their contracts come up or when they're done wrestling, they just disappear and ride off into the sunset. It's not some big fanfare. That's the way I always saw myself. Who knows? I don't know what I would have done. I may have tried to go to Hollywood and tried making films or title sequences. I don't know where my head was at. I was kind of open to everything for a while there as I was considering it. I always like the idea of once you're done, just drift off and people say goodbye and that's it. You're done. So, remember, we covered this and we talked about look, losing Chad Gable for the WWE would have been a big hit, right? Because they spent a good amount of time building to what we're seeing him doing now, right? They were already kind of laying the foundation for the Alpha Academy, and now he's got real heat. I think this Wyatt Six rivalry is going to be great, and so we'll see what they do with him. But it would have been a big loss. But I did think, hey, I mean, he's going to be looking to go to other places, right? And this tells you a lot about Chad Gable. And I think in some ways this is a helpful mindset to have when you're in the wrestling business because this allows him, considering, wrestling clearly isn't his one thing he loves to do. This allows him to just be free out there, right? Be whatever he wants to be because he's not worried about, hey man, if I fail, that's it for me. And so I think there's a lot of good to that. At the same time, obviously, clearly he does like the business if he's staying in it, but I think this is a good mindset to have. And I'm glad he resigned because we've made this clear many times. Now, Chad Gable may have that kind of top tier talent ability, right? He may have that. But the one thing we do know is he is a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic mid card talent as of right now, right? We talked about this many times. The beauty of good wrestling, right? And when wrestling is at its peak, when WWE has been at its peak, or WCW, or wherever, um, it's about the mid card too, right? If you just have good main events, sure, people will watch, but they're going to be watching a lot of stuff they don't want to watch to get what they do. When you have the strong mid card talent, somebody like Chad Gable to bring you to the main event, the show looks way better. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.